Hey guys, what's up? GreenMachineSam back with another video, and today we have another Bears React video. I know I didn't get week 1 out as quick as I was hoping to, but we are back with week 2 after the loss to the Houston Texans. Of course, the biggest underline of this game was the pass rush on the Houston Texans side, them being able to create a lot of good stunts and able to get home on a lot of plays. But let's get into things and let's get things started. Of course, I do want to put a disclaimer here. I put the same disclaimer last time. Just because I don't hate the men, just because I don't like them as a football player or don't think they're good, but it doesn't mean I don't root for them. I do not root against any players unless they are piece of shit human beings. I'll never actively root against somebody. Just because I don't like Velus Jones doesn't mean I don't want him to succeed. Just because I don't like Nate Davis as a football player doesn't mean I don't want him to succeed. I'll never root against any NFL player because they are living out the dream that I wish I could be living out. It's as simple as that. First note is basically the O-line play is bad. Interior O-line needs a complete overhaul. I don't know if any of these dudes survive the season / the off season. I don't think Tevin Jenkins gets re-signed. I think Nate Davis gets let his walking papers, if not traded off at the right opportunity. If we are, if we do go trade for a different guard and we got to match salaries or something, I think Nate Davis is that guy to be let go, as well as I think his cap hit isn't too big going into the next season if we do decide to cut him. Like I said, the interior O-line needs a complete overhaul. I would like to see Ryan Bates at some point. Tevin Jenkins should be moved over to right guard. Put him next to Darnell Wright. I think they would create a better pairing. Kieran Ademji, I think I would love to see at left guard. He's a little smaller than the other two tackles, so I'd like to see him in there if he's willing to, and if he thinks he's up to the task. Definitely get him some reps as well. Or if he thinks he'd be better at right guard, or if Matt Pryor would slide in at right guard better than Tevin Jenkins, try something. Nate Davis is not the fucking answer. If I see Coleman Shelton get bull rushed one more fucking time and get walked back into Caleb Williams' lap, I'm going to lose my shit. I don't know why that guy can't sink his hips and fucking maintain his ground. He cannot do anything right now, which is very upsetting. And like I said, I don't root against any players. It's just what I'm seeing on the fucking field and relaying my thoughts and what I think they should do. With the interior line being so bad, the tackles are being put in bad spots. And then this next point kind of rolls into that, is that I don't know why I was seeing the tight ends asked to purely block edges by themselves. There was one time where Cole Kmet was coming down on like a down block, kind of like you'd see on a zone play going the other way, asking Cole Kmet to block fucking Will Anderson. And then he throws out the flippers. If you do not know, some offensive line coaches will call them flippers. It basically means if you try to block people with your forearms and your elbows rather than actually getting your hands on them and forcing and, imposing your will, they'll call them flippers. And Cole Kmet just comes down, whiffs the block, tries to block him with flippers, and Will Anderson just goes right around him. I saw multiple times where we're asking tight ends to either chip block or, just block edges, block Danielle Hunter or Will Anderson one-on-one real quick. It was so weird. And then, the chip blocks, for some reason, the tight ends, I don't know if it's it must be the coaching at this point. They're telling them to, help chip on Danielle or Will Anderson, and they're chipping them the wrong way. Instead of forcing them inside and straight to the tackle, you're chipping them and letting them go to the outside. Why the fuck are you doing that? That has to be coaching. I understand that might be by design, but I think that's incorrect. I think you chip them to the inside, force them inside, and force them onto the tackles right away. I don't think the tackles are completely dog shit. I think that they're being put into bad spots. Now, do I think they're the two best tackles in the entire league? No, not at all. I think they're good tackles, not great. I don't think they're bad by any stretch of the imagination, but it's just crazy how many bad spots they were put in last Sunday. It did not look good. Apparently, Caleb Williams was pressured on 36 of his 48 dropbacks. He was pressured on almost every single throw that he had. Just crazy, crazy numbers to see. As an offensive line, you cannot be happy. And then with the Tevin Jenkins situation happening where, he was like, well, this is how we're being coached and this is how, they want things done. So we're just trying to do our best at what we're being told to do. Number one, don't throw your coach on the bus. I know I'm thinking the same thing. Don't get me wrong. The coaching is definitely in a bad spot right now. I think the O-line coach needs to be fired just based off of these first 2 weeks. But don't throw your coach on the bus. It's going to make you look bad. And especially if the Bears don't re-sign you, you're going to want another contract from somebody else. and throwing a coach under the bus probably won't do you the best long term. I just want to look back at some hypotheticals. You know, we let James Daniels walk in the first offseason that Ryan Poles showed up. He let James Daniels walk just to sign Nate Davis to an even more expensive deal the next season. I know James Daniels isn't the particularly best pass blocking guard either. I know he's not ranked very high on PFF, but at this point, there's only, I was going to say James Daniels is younger. He technically is. He's 10 days younger than Nate Davis, but goddamn. You know, something I also said was like, you know, if you're going to pay a dude basically the same money to come in and do the job of a different guy, just keep your guy. You know, I understand you want your own guys in quotation marks in the building, but it was James Daniels. Come on, you would have saved $3.5 million on James Daniels, first and foremost. Second off, he's homegrown. Third off, he was from Iowa and he liked being there, and then you just let him walk for nothing. One thing I did look up is Kyle Long is only 35, so imagine if his career wasn't plagued by injuries, he could almost still be playing for us, of course, if the Bears would have allowed him to stay at this point. Cody Whitehair's regression kind of sucks, you know, seeing him regress to that point last year where we had to get rid of him. Definitely does suck because I think he should still be playing for us if he didn't regress so much. I would have loved to see, and like I was calling for, I would have liked to see Cedric Van Pran or some of those other interior guys be drafted by us. Bring in a rookie, see if they have anything of value to offer, but unfortunately we did not. Caleb needs to stop playing hero ball. I think that's first and foremost. It seemed like sometimes he was trying to do too much. I think he needs to understand sometimes when he needs to take a sack or when he just needs to get rid of the football and when he needs to just take the check down. It definitely felt like Caleb doesn't fit like Shane's offense right now, or at least what Shane is calling. I think Shane is still a little too conservative. Let Caleb play. You know, you drafted him to be this quarterback. Stop regressing him back to just a pocket passer. Let him go do his thing a little bit. Let him go play his ball, but understand that you still need to follow the game plan. Understand that you still need to be the quarterback. And this is a message to Caleb, more in particular, is we don't need you to be Mahomes right now. As a Bears fan, understand this. We do not need you to be Mahomes. We do not need you to be Josh Allen. We do not need you to be Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, any of the top guys. We don't need you to be that right now. We understand you're a rookie. We understand there's going to be certain aspects that are going to take longer to develop. Now, I understand that you have confidence. I understand that you want to be that guy right away. You want to be him. You want to be the savior of Chicago. I understand that. Just know that we do not need you to be the hero right now. We just need you to show that you are the guy. Right? I think that's all we need you to do. And please stop flag hunting. I understand what you were doing on two of those plays near the sideline. Please stop doing that. We don't need you getting fucking rocked for no reason. I didn't like how many players weren't stepping up and like surrounding Azeez Al-Shaair. That's one thing I'll definitely say. And I have my opinions on Azeez Al-Shaair just based off of that. But, and you know, not having the flag thrown, even though he threw punches and he's the one that started it and everything, is just kind of crazy. I don't understand that. And then, of course, there was the video coming out being like, how was this dude not flagged for taunting? You know, he was standing on the sideline talking to a bunch of the Bears players, you know, standing there and, you know, dancing in front of them and doing stuff, but we got flagged for taunting a couple years ago with Cassius Marce. But the defense looks good. I'll definitely say this. We definitely need to prepare better on defense. Good O-lines or O-lines that know how to climb to the next level and climb efficiently might be able to beat us. I think that's definitely one thing that I've definitely seen. So we definitely need to be better at that. The defensive tackles do look better than they did last week. I will say that. The edge rushers didn't have as big an impact, but I understand going against probably one of the best pass blocking left tackles in Laramie Tunsil is definitely an issue. But I still don't think we had enough pressure on CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud does get the ball out pretty fast too and knows how to move the pocket well. I'm not going to say that the defensive line just played super bad or anything. Just something that I saw. The defense does have confidence and they look very good, but how long will they have confidence, right? This goes back to like the 2019 team. You know, after the 2018 season, we were coming out into 2019. We were supposed to be just as good, if not better, you know, continuously being good. Hopefully improvements on the offensive side of the ball. And then after a couple weeks, the defense just looked gassed. They looked like they had no confidence because, you know, when you're getting put out there a lot and you're going to continue to get put out there in bad situations, how long is that defense going to put up with that shit? How long is the defense going to stand there and take those fucking shots and take those fucking signs of disrespect and still want to be out there still making plays. I think that's a major thing that not a lot of people are talking about, is how long is the defense going to want to play like they are playing right now before something inside them snaps. There's still a gap in coverage behind the backers and in front of the safeties. I don't know if the safeties need to play shallower or the linebackers need to play deeper. Something needs to happen. It seems like a lot of balls are being thrown in that general direction, and they're getting completed at a pretty high rate, in my opinion. I think there's a decent coverage laps behind the backers and in front of the safeties. I don't know if it's just trusting Tremaine Edmonds too much, being like, oh, he's 6'5" and 250 pounds. He'll be able to basically, deter any quarterback from throwing over the middle. That's not what happens. They're going to fucking throw it past him if they see a gap. Tackling was still sus early, not completely 100%. I think tackling will improve over the season, though. Hopefully we'll just see more efficient tackles early on in the next couple games, especially against the Colts and the Rams, who both have good running backs. Eberflus and staff, we're not a speed team. I'm just going to put that out there. If you put the players that are supposed to be out on the field, like Roma Dunze, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Kmet, Everett, Swift, Herbert, Jones, Johnson, we are not a speed team. Stop trying to beat speed teams to the edge. The Texans had a very good speed team. They were able to get to the edge, stop those motion swing passes. If I see one more fucking shotgun, quick pitch, or outside zone, I'm going to lose my shit. Stop fucking running that shit. We do not have the tackles for that. We do not have the blocking tight ends for that. Stop fucking doing it against these teams that have speed at the linebacker positions. I do not understand why we are doing that. The amount of times I saw, and then you have Kyle Long and Orlin Kuntz and Matt Forte all on Twitter being like, why the fuck are you running the ball out of shotgun? Why the fuck are you running the ball outside on shotgun on 3rd and 4th downs? What the fuck are you doing? It's just crazy to me that we were running the ball out of shotgun on these outside zones and stuff. I just don't understand that. And then even inside zones, I saw a play where somebody was breaking it down, and Tevin Jenkins and Nate Davis both missed the defensive tackles that they're supposed to block, get up to the backers, and then can't decide which backer they want to block, and they both miss the backers. And then Swift is tackled. It's like, what the fuck are we doing, guys? It's just crazy how bad the offensive line is playing right now. I would start benching people and threatening to cut people if I was Poles and shit, but do you, I guess. One thing I'll say is Eberflus needs to trust his DBs a little bit more. I think when we sent extra pressure, we were definitely getting home. Now, of course, I know you can't send it every single time our teams are going to start beating us, but our defensive back group is very good. Start trusting them a little bit more. If it means sending 5, if it means sending 6, do it a little bit more frequently. I don't know where we rank in terms of sending pressure and sending extra guys, but it definitely felt like when we did send those extra pressures last night, they definitely did get home and were able to force Stroud into some bad situations. Now, of course, like I said, I don't know where we rank in terms of sending extra pressure and sending those linebackers, but it definitely did feel like anytime we did, we had a little bit better of an opportunity. I understand that could have just been more or less just when we sent them more than anything, but I definitely think we do need to trust the DBs a little bit more and send some extra pressure. You got Eberflus, you got pressured / bullied into challenging an interception that just clearly wasn't an interception by Kyler Gordon. Trust me, as much as I wish it would have been an interception, and if it would have been ruled on the field that it was an interception, and if the Texans would have probably challenged it, I probably would have still agreed that it wasn't an interception. So you getting bullied into wasting a timeout and a challenge at that point is just kind of crazy in my eyes. I don't understand how or why you would do that. If you really want extra time, call the timeout and then see if you're going to want to challenge. If you win the challenge, if it's clear and obvious that you're probably going to win the challenge, then you can challenge and you won't waste that timeout, and you would have had to use that timeout anyway if you would have lost it, or if you would have just called it and had a little extra time to be able to challenge the play. I just don't understand getting pressured / bullied by Kyler Gordon. One thing that Chris Collinsworth kind of said on the broadcast that kind of really stuck with me was like, don't listen to the guy that made the play, listen to the guys around him. If some of the guys around him aren't really all that into it and being like, yeah, he made the fucking play, don't fucking challenge it. As well as I would assume you have a video board above you. I would assume you also have guys upstairs that are able to watch the replays real quick and be able to get word down to the sideline and be like, hey, no, you probably should challenge it. There is probably a good chance that we can get this overturned. Don't fucking challenge it. I just don't understand why you did that. Shows some emotion. It just never felt like he had any emotion on the sideline. When anything went bad, it didn't look like he had emotion. When anything went good, it didn't really seem like he had emotion. Please some show emotion. Get hype with your team. Be a leader. I just didn't see much on the sideline for myself. So I don't know if that's just me being me and wanting to see emotion, but I didn't see much in the way of emotion from him. Or a lot of the staff even. But that's just me. Ryan Poles, I love him. But can we please stop acting like the Panthers trade is the only thing that he has on his resume? He still has the Chase Claypool trade on his resume where he basically gave up a first-round pick. He still has the fucking Velus Jones pick. He still has multiple things. He let James Daniels go to sign Nate Davis, who is arguably a worse guard, if not a guarantee of a worse guard. You know, you have... The Panthers trade is not the only fucking thing. I understand that Panthers trade is fucking good. I really do. Right? I understand how good that Panthers trade is, and I understand that. And I understand he's made a couple other good pickups, right? I definitely do understand that. But stop pretending like the Panthers trade is the only thing that Poles has done in terms of, look at all this greatness he has done. You know, you got DJ Moore and all these picks. It's like, congrats. Yes, he got that shit. But what GM in what situation wouldn't get a fucking haul for the number 1 overall pick? We don't see the number 1 overall pick get fucking traded off the whole time, right? And if Darnell Wright doesn't turn out to who he's supposed to be, as well as Caleb Williams, that trade is going to look worse and worse each fucking day. And with Fields playing at least okay up in fucking Pittsburgh right now, and you know, our offense being ranked near the bottom in yards per play, it is not looking great for us right now. Stop pretending the Panthers trade is the only thing that we've seen from Ryan Poles. Like I said, he made the Chase Claypool trade for basically a first-round pick. He drafted Velus Jones in the 3rd round, who, fun fact, if you haven't been around my channel very long or you don't know this, Velus Jones is older than Roquan Smith. You traded Roquan Smith. You let David Montgomery walk. You fucking will not cut Velus Jones. You signed Nate Davis to a pretty big deal. You know, you have all these different things. And one thing that I'm absolutely hating right now is, like, if Poles had so much confidence in this offense, like, don't get me wrong, every team's going to have to punt at some sort of time, and Trenton Gill was just not the guy, right? Don't get me wrong. I understand that wholeheartedly. But if you are trusting this offense, and if you thought that the offensive line, if you thought bringing in these weapons and drafting Caleb Williams and drafting Rome Odunze and drafting that backup tackle, you know, if you thought that was going to fix your whole entire offense, why draft a punter so early? That's the thing that pisses me off. It's like, that means he either didn't have high expectations for this offense year 1, or he was just wasting a fucking pick and thought this punter was the greatest dude ever. Like, apparently. I don't know. All I'm trying to say is admit your mistakes and please move on. If Velus Jones is not the guy, fucking release him. If you don't want Khalil Herbert to get snaps, fucking trade him. Larry Boneroom apparently had interest from the Saints. Why didn't you fucking trade him if you weren't gonna give him a shot, right? Team as a whole, the 53-man should be there if Caleb gets hit. I don't care if he hasn't proven enough to deserve your respect or hasn't proven enough or anything like that or whatever, but he's the future. Fucking go protect him. If he gets hit, the whole fucking 53-man roster, whoever is active and on the sideline, has their pads on, should be surrounding the motherfucker, especially if it's our own goddamn sideline. If Caleb gets hit, I should see everybody hop up off the bench and surround the motherfucker. I don't care if he hasn't earned the respect or earned your fucking trust yet. Go fucking stand up for your guy. And this doesn't just go for Caleb. This goes for everybody. We need to see more team unity. There shouldn't only be fucking 10 guys around Caleb when he gets hit. The whole sideline should be getting off the fucking bench and surrounding the motherfucker. I don't know. That's just my opinion. If you get hit like that, even if it is a clean hit, which it kind of sort of was in my opinion, if you think it's a dirty hit, get off your ass and go fucking protect your guy. I don't give a fuck if it's the kicker. I don't give a fuck. Which, no offense to Cairo Santos. I know his name. Yes, it is Cairo Santos. Yes, I even know our long snapper, Scott Daly, and fucking Patrick Scales. What I am saying is, I don't give a fuck who it is. It could be the kicker, it could be the punter, it could be the long snapper, it could be the quarterback, it could be the running back, it could be the fucking backup, 3rd string, left end. I don't give a fuck. Get up and go fucking protect your dudes. That was a piss poor showing. And especially after Caleb gets hit, and then Roshan Johnson gets punched in the fucking face mask. I understand, Aziz is fucking stupid for hitting a dude in his face mask. Everybody should be surrounding that motherfucker. Make him feel like he's about to get his shit rocked on that fucking sideline. That's just my opinion, though. I don't know. Like I said, a lot of this stuff is subjective. I don't have the advanced metrics on a lot of this stuff. But I know that the offensive line let up a lot of pressures. It was a good chunk of his dropbacks that he was getting pressured on. I know it felt like every stunt was getting home. I made a tweet where it was like, if every team lines up in double A-gap pressure and sends 6 guys, I don't honestly know how we're going to stop it, especially if you throw a stunt in there. Like if what's it called? If you send double A-gap pressure, I think it's the pin and pull, right, where the linebackers are on the A-gap and one hits the center and then the other goes around, goes around on the backside. That's called like a pin and pull, I'm pretty sure. I don't know exactly what other teams might call it. But if you run a pin and pull, I honestly think every team will get home. I really do. I don't see us stopping mini pressures right now. And I don't see us stopping good pass rushes. And we're going to be going up against another good one in Indianapolis. Now, of course, the next 3 games, we do get a little bit of a break in terms of run-stopping units. Indianapolis, the Rams, and I forget who else we're playing. Indianapolis, Rams, and somebody else are like the bottom 3 teams in the entire fucking league in terms of rush yards right now. So does the Colts, Rams, and then Panthers are some of the worst run defenses right now in the NFL. Now, of course, it's only through 2 weeks, of course. Hopefully, we'll be able to see a little bit better play from the offensive line, at least in the run blocking unit, and see, hopefully, a guy like Roshan or even Khalil Herbert have a little bit bigger role, especially against these guys. I know the Rams have a pretty good pass rush right now. They looked kind of not great against the Cardinals, but that's just, Kyler Murray being able to scramble around. The Colts, though, one thing I will say is as long as we limit their big plays, I think we'll be fine on defense. But I need to see something. I need to see something against this Colts defense. Their back end is just not very good, in my opinion. I don't love their corner situation. Their linebackers are fast, but aren't, superstar level linebackers. So I think we need to see a lot of stuff from the pass game as well. I think we should be able to see some stuff from them as well. They just got beat by, Malik Willis and Green Bay. So I think we should be able to run the football. I think we should be able to have a good chance against the Colts. But for now, that's all I really have to say. If you guys disagree with me or agree with me, let me know down below in the comments. If you guys want to talk Bears football, if you guys are Chicago Bears fans, go ahead and comment down below. And I'll be back with more videos like this. But with that being said, for now, I'm out. Peace.